Hello, everyone, and welcome to another FX Centrum daily market analysis. So for today, I will go through our cross asset list. So I will cover coffee market, WTI, US 100, US 30, USD dollar Mexican peso, pound dollar, euro dollar, dollar index, Bitcoin versus US dollar, gold market, aluminum, and cocoa market. I will do so by using our FX Centrum platform for charting, and we'll begin with the coffee market. So what we had here yesterday was basically that we had an upside movement and almost reached this upside objective 260.40, which was just the first upside objective based on this initial breakout of the 20-day balance. But then we developed this tail. You can see that Bollinger Bands are expanding, so volatility is expanding, and we had this tail more like a selling tail from yesterday. Now, on the hourly time frame, we can see that still market is trying to build higher lows here. And as long as the market is trading above 233, let's say, there is a chance for higher prices and for this breakout to develop further to the upside. So I would like to see that we have eventual rebreak of 255 will be a very good confirmation for the further upside continuation. But of course, there is always a chance for a slight pullback before the further upside movement. So still the idea on the coffee market that we have posted 2 days ago is still valid and is still progressing. And as I said, we almost reached its first upside objective, and also the trail function, which is the middle Bollinger Band, which is the 20 bar moving average, is also active, and it's right now around 232.40. So we'll see how this will progress, but still breakout is valid, and we'll see how the market will react on this pin bar from yesterday. WTI, we can see that market is building higher lows. That 81 level held pretty well, so still the short-term trend is bullish. We can see here in the last 20 days of market established the higher highs and higher lows. And let's take a look at the hourly time frame. We had this gap between the fast and slow line, and we can see this reaction back towards the slow line. Here, hourly, we can see here this breakout, so supply trend line, and a nice hold here. So you can see the 81.75 lower Bollinger Bands, 2 standard deviations on the hourly, pretty strong support. And now after this, so we broke this swing high, we also held this point, and now so I see the good chance for a higher prices towards 84.45 on the WTI, let's say, and a retest of that high. So you can also see the fast line is getting aggressively closer to the slow line. So we can potentially resume this upside cycle. On the weekly time frame, this is what it looks like on the weekly time frame. So the rejection on the lower Bollinger Band and the weekly fresh bull cross stochastic. So makes sense for the upside continuation to retest highs. US 100 had a sell-off based on yesterday's event that we had in the US. So we had quite a big sell-off, and this is something that we learned about the rate of change divergence, the potential fresh bear cross stochastic. So this was all in the play prior to yesterday, and this is just a result. The sell that happened at this down day that happened yesterday was a result of this extended move on the US 100 and the divergence that happened around the 2 standard deviation. So, and now market is pretty much close to the middle Bollinger Band, 20,000 mark is the pivot low, and the 20 bar moving average, and then we have a supports around 19,600 mark. On hourly time frame, so far we had only downside, so break of the lower Bollinger Band, and now just halt. So it seems like there are no buyers to react on this one, and there is a still chance for a downside and another attempt, probably towards the 20,000 mark at least on the US 100. On the US 30, we can see actually that so tech, right, had, because it's a very extended, tech had a big down day, while the US 30 actually had a buy day. I actually had we traded above the upper Bollinger Band and closed above, so there is a chance to retest 40,100 mark. The rate of change here, we have a flip to the downside. Let's take a look at the hourly time frame. So Here we can see that we have a consolidation. So anything meaningful to the downside, if the market can break 39,650, there will be a chance for a drop. And resistance is set at 39,924. So it's a totally different story if we compare US 100 with a sell-off potential for the downside, and US 30 had actually a narrow update yesterday into the resistance. Now on the USDN, we had quite a big sell-off. So as you can see, market it almost reached the 161.93, but it was only enough for market and fast line to correct, and the slow line is still sloping to the downside, and we can see quite a big sell-off on the yesterday's events and into the lower two standard deviations in a single day, and this is a basically pretty big climax on the daily time frame in a single day to reach two standard deviations on the daily rate of change went to the new 20-day low, but we have some now flipped to the upside. So we might see some rotational day or reaction day because this looks like this was a pretty climatic sell-off, and this is not that good for the continuation for the very next day, especially when we had this doji candle, and the now market is trying to look at the narrowness in the Bollinger Band. So if market can break, like for example 159.50 and hold above, we might see the rotation even back up to to fully absorb this supply. If that's not the case, so if we see some rejection of this level or another sell-off and trade below the 157.20 or so, then of course there is a chance for another downside day or follow through day. But this was a pretty climatic move in a single day to reach two standard deviations. It's quite a big move. So on the dollar Mexican peso, we had potential bull idea yesterday, but because of the news, market sold off. And now if we take a look here, it's still basically trading lower, just around this lower Bollinger Band. But I cannot say that hourly time frame it's any smooth price action. Yes, of course, if we can retake 1770 mark, this can be another bear flag for a further downside movement, and then we have the next pivot level around 1743, 1744. That'll be the next pivot level on the daily time frame. So of course, if market can retake the 1788, then there is a chance for the rally towards 18.05 or so. But so far, sellers are in control and potential bear flag is there. But pay attention to this 1788, potential upside development, or a rebreak of 1770 for potential downside development. On the pound dollar, we had another up day. So market went traded in, we have a new 20-day high. You can see here in the weekly time frame that the next pivot on the weekly time frame is all the way at 1.3120 mark. So that's the next pivot, but we have the rate of change flip to the downside after two low to high days. Still, short-term trend is bullish, and hourly there is no any kind of. Actually, hourly is pretty supportive for the further upside movement, and suggests a climax and then a natural pullback and building higher lows. So it seems like there is a still chance for the upside movement to develop, and then in the next upside objectives around 1.3 mark. Euro dollar had a bullish upside day, and it traded into the resistance, into the swing high around 1.0900 mark. You see the fast and slow line that pretty much closed at this point. So there is a still chance for a higher prices. The next pivot level, meaningful pivot level, I will say at 1.0965, 975 mark. Hourly time frame, pretty good. Break of this consolidation. Climax on the news with a natural pullback, and seems like there is a chance for a continuation move, which will mean the dollar index had a down break. So this 3-bar balance or 4-day balance, we had a down break. So technically this is in a breakout mode with a key support around 103.92. There was a sell-off towards that level, but we still didn't test actually that level or so. short-term environment is the downside, and hourly time frame we can see here sell off, and then this looks like a natural reaction to me into the downside environment. So there's a still chance for maybe some follow through and even trade below 103.92. Now on the Bitcoin, as I said, the key short-term resistance is at 59,400, 59,500. And I can see it here that supply is now in control and getting again in control. So I do see potential for drop towards 53,500 and then eventually towards the 45,000 mark. So still that idea is still there. We took the support here, we broke the support, and now we're building lower highs and lower lows in the hourly. So seems like a good indication for the further downside movement. Now on the gold market, so what we have here is we had a rate of change flip to the downside. We had a short term in the last 10 days or so. We have upside environment, but overall we're still in the bigger consolidation. And we have a key resistance around 24.47. On a daily time frame, we had quite a volatility expansion, but let's take a look at hourly time frame. So there was an upside. We had a rally here, and now market is building this natural pullback. But will this be a pullback just for another upside continuation, or we have full absorption of this potential climb from yesterday? This is something that we will need to see, but only if we have the market confirmation, I will say we can have a down rotation back to 23.50 or upside continuation towards the 24.47. On aluminum, seems like there is a breakout. It's just about to happen. So 24.61, and we're breaking basically. So there is a potential for the drop towards 23.04. And on the cocoa market, as I said, we saw the change in the trend behavior from bearish to bullish, and now market is building higher lows and higher highs on the hourly. And I will say the first pivot level and upside objective at 99.35, and then we'll have maybe 10,500 on the cocoa market. So that will be all for this FX Centrum daily market analysis. You can also visit our website, fxcentrum.com, for more information. You can see FX TV here. You can also become our introducing broker and can open an account with just a couple of clicks. And of course, you can enjoy promotion 100% deposit bonus, which is quite a big boost for your account. So thank you all for watching and stay tuned for more videos. Have a good trading day.